Yeah, Fisker's coming in swinging like they're going to play with those guys in a year.
Yeah, well,
You're playing football, man. Those guys are playing in the major leagues.
they've been trying to make cars for a while. They had like I think it was a hybrid that came out a while ago, and then that company went bankrupt, and
Mhm.
so they've been at it for a while. I don't think they bit off more than they could chew. Like they made one car and they couldn't do that right. It's not like they came up with a whole lineup.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of hype and
They're just incompetent. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wrenches in my top drawer. Today we got to talk about Fisker filing for bankruptcy after all rescue attempts have failed. This is an article from Car Scoops. I'll put the link in the description, but let's go ahead and sum this up. Fisker has filed for bankruptcy protection. The US-based startup claims to have asset worth about $500 million to $1 billion, but liabilities of about $500 million. The rescue talks with Nissan and other big OEMs earlier this year fizzled out. Dane, I remember we've been talking about this.
yep.
And I remember from the beginning, I said that Nissan would be making a huge mistake partnering with Fisker. They're basically in quicksand and they want to pull down somebody else with them. and Nissan they must have watched the show, I think. They decided,
yeah.
They watched us.
Yeah.
So Dane, what do you think about this? Are you as happy as I am that Fisker is finally going away?
Yeah, we all knew this was coming. It wasn't looking good. With all the problems they had, they've been in a downward spiral, and they tried playing hot potato with themselves, trying to jump into someone else's pocket or hands, and everybody else was like, nope, nope, nope.
Yeah, they don't want that.
Me.
They tried to slash the price of their vehicle. They priced the entry-level model at $25,000 in an attempt to garner some cash. The stock trading was suspended the same month. They traded so low that they just said no more. I think if you own Fisker stock, you might end up owing the stock market money at this point because the stock is worth garbage. The company is bankrupt.
It's gone. That sucks. It sucks for everyone that bought a car.
I do feel sorry for the people that bought them. I get upset sometimes, Dane, when people get tricked or they get ripped off. Even if those people have a lot of money, I still don't want to see them get tricked or ripped off. And I knew from the beginning that this car was going to be garbage. I told you I did go to an interview there. I'll tell you the story about it once they're officially out of bankruptcy and they can't sue me. But it was the biggest nightmare interview of my entire career. I've interviewed all over the place. I've worked all over the place. Of course, I interviewed at Cummins. I had a job there. I interviewed at Toyota, Ford, GM. I even interviewed for the Google car. I didn't get that one. That one was close. Yeah. But I did work at Toyota. And Fisker stands out as 100% worst experience of a professional interview in my entire life. And I talked to some of the people there, and I knew that this was going to be a disaster. I saw a podcast of a guy who bought one, and he bought stock in Fisker too. Yep. And I felt so bad for him. I was like, dude, this is not Tesla Part 2. This is a bunch of guys in California who have no business acumen. They have no idea how to run a business. And they are just wasting a lot of people's time and money. I heard that people sent them checks for these cars. They didn't even cash the check.
Really?
What kind of incompetence is that?
That's crazy. Sounds worst. Like they had a lot of problems, but they tried getting too big too fast. They want to play at the highest levels, what it kind of seemed like, but they didn't build up to it. They didn't start with an entry level car and built up to a higher level car and took time with their manufacturing. They used Magna for, I think, a lot of their manufacturing, who does a lot of stuff in the automotive. I think they're based out of Europe. Anyways, they're known for really good quality. They tried making a big bang at the first shot instead of kind of tiptoeing into it, easing up to it. You want to play with the big three. Those guys have been doing it for over 100 years. You got to realize how much experience that they have, how long it took to build what they have. Tesla's surprisingly doing it incredibly fast, for the, 15 years they've been around or more. But yeah, Fisker's coming in swinging like they're going to play with those guys in a year.
Well,
football, man. Those guys are playing in the major leagues.
They've been trying to make cars for a while. They had I think it was a hybrid that came out a while ago, and then that company went bankrupt. And
Mhm.
So they've been at it for a while. I don't think they bit off more than they could chew. Like they made one car and they couldn't do that right. It's not like they came up with a whole lineup.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of hype
They're just incompetent.
right, incompetence to kind of blow it up into something big and get all these investors, and it's
No,
just and hoping it was just going to take off. Well, these things take time. They take a lot of research. They take a lot of money.
it
You can't
looks
just
like what happened is
yeah.
like when you have a vehicle, you have different modules of computers and they're
Mhm.
all talking to each other on the network. And one of the challenges of that is sometimes one computer is designed and written in one computer language, and
Yep.
then another computer is designed by somebody else. I
Mhm.
think they were having problems with integrating all the computers to be able to talk to each other and understand each other. Now that's difficult even for the big
Yeah.
OEMs, and I think that was part of the problem. One of our friends is a guy who does that.
Mhm.
He integrates all the different computers and the computer languages because a lot of the problems with this car were software related.
Yeah, a lot. That was the most of it. And the friend of mine I know that has one of these, he says after they fixed everything, it's actually decent, but it's too late.
Too late. Yeah, they
Yeah.
should have fixed all that before the car came out. It's not like if the car came out 8 months later than it did, that it would have been a big deal. But they rushed it instead, and now they can't get their reputation back. And their reputation was never that good to begin with. All the reviewers all trashed them. Consumer Reports trashed them. I trashed them. I didn't even drive the car, but I just knew that they were terrible. Yeah, I do feel sorry for the people that bought this car. They're basically worthless right now. I don't want to see rich people get ripped off either. It's a shame.
Yeah, you're 100% right, man.
All
Just
right.
sucks for those guys. They were too fast to market. I'm sure that they were needing money bad, so they're like, "Screw it, let's get some sales, and we'll figure out how to fix these things later on." But that just was not obviously the right move.
Well, honestly, Fisker is gone, and the world is the better place now. And you know what? I would be wary of buying any car from any kind of startup OEM, like any OEM that's been out for like less than 10 years. Be very skeptical of buying it because you don't just buy a car. You are essentially in a relationship with a company, and that company needs to be reliable. You need to be able to get parts. You need to be able to get service. If you
Mhm.
can't get those things, that car becomes a financial albatross and it's going to drag you down with it.
Mhm. That's right. Yeah, realize you're a beta tester, and whatever you decide to make a purchase for, that money's gone forever, potentially. Maybe not, but be willing to part ways with it forever. There's no resale if things go sideways, and that's what happened here.
Yeah, and for all of you people who think you're going to get a Chinese car from BYD because it's cheap, just remember you don't know that company. Even if the car is good, you got to wait and see how good that company is and see if they are reliable and they're going to be there for
Yep.
the long haul.
Takes a long time to build, consumer confidence.
That's right. All right. Well, that's what we got for you today. So if you have one of these cars or if you have an opinion about Fisker, please put in the comments what you think about it. Am I off? Do you think that I am insane in my intense dislike of Fisker? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for tuning in and have a good one.
Yep. See you guys.